IDs, no sections, no strict IDs. And as far as I can tell you, I've been in the last couple of days along some of the reefs in Maui, and in many of these areas, the coralline species who lives is between and above the branches of the corals are quite different from what are around the bottom. And this is something we need to be taking into account for management purposes in the future. There is a very important way how to preserve and process the specimens for a formal ID, because sometimes people just think that they need to put everything informally and then work it out. Fortunately, with this kind of organisms, we can drive them up and identify at some confidence level later, so you don't need to hassle a lot. So, and the key will, and the book will have these kind of suggestions how to preserve them. Also, a basic key, what we call artificial key, is not natural, not based on taxonomic concept, based on how they look in the surface and how people can interpret it just with common knowledge, not scientific knowledge, will be included. And then the main body of the book will be the 10 descriptions, but what I mean about the 10 descriptions is artificial descriptions, not scientific descriptions of each species, included to the family and genus level. The family and genus level will be more scientific, just to make people aware how these are classified. But, for example, an example of a description, we will identify the features like crustage, like the growth form. If it's crustage with smooth margins or ridges, or if it has branches, these kind of things that common people will recognize immediately looking at the plant in the field with the backup of a photo clearly identified by a figure number. Conceptual above the surface of the thalate will be another key point, or HCRI, which is another structure with a backup photograph. Sometimes there are some anatomical features that will even can see from the surface of the specimen, and like they can be, say, like a stripocyte, a more scientific name, or scars can be looking like the scars over the surface. Those scars cannot come up from invertebrate feeding. It's just the species looks like this. More information about worldwide records confirmed. Distribution in Hawaii based on our sampling and review of the historical records. Ecological distribution seems to be very important because there are species living in the open, intertidal, high wave action places where you can find piggies, or places where are a lot of corals, high recruitment of urchins and corals and other species, or feeding habits of herbivore fishes. And also a key taxonomic reference that we might be aimed to publish a formal paper just before the guide came out, to add here and make people have more strong feeling about the confidence of the ID. This is another typical species. It's all over Hawaiian Islands. I can tell you it's all over the Pacific Rim. Hydrolyton oncodes is a typical one. You see the surface and you compare the one we had before, you can miss it. And the conceptual morphology is typical for the species. Again, this is one of these species worldwide distributed widely in the Pacific Rim, and the plants is crustal with margins, but not smooth. They are like breathy, and conceptacles above the surface of the thalate. Maybe we will polish a little bit more, saying a roughly size, maybe trichocytes in rows, and you can see these rows from a surface point of view. Distribution in Hawaii is very widely. We will hear out these things later. I need additional work and products to do. Analyze samples from the recent field trips and plan the last field trip to confirm records and take more field underwater photos. I want to make certain that whatever I'm saying lives in the branches of the coral is accurate, and you can find the same coral I've been taking the picture from in your work. Develop the description of the 15, we are thinking in 15 most common species around the Hawaiian Islands, and the artificial key developed based on them. And most common species is, the species to fit into the book should be in the 4 islands at least, because then it can be used broadly. If you include a species only in 1 island, it will be an exemption and you don't know if it's in WACU or not, and will make people confused. So it should be this number, 4 islands. We will prepare publications about the crustage Coralline algae from Hawaii. I can anticipate at least 3 or 4 papers in good journals, because there is a lot of new records, a lot of new things, very interesting from the taxonomic point of view about the Hawaiian crustage Coralline algae in relation to the Central Pacific knowledge, and I think will be flying very well in the journals. Thank you for your kind attention. Right here.